And welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing one of my most requested videos, which is strange because like I knew you guys were interested, like all about my Disney college program, front desk, all that fun stuff, but you guys really want to know all the places that I worked at. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to be telling you guys all the locations that I worked at. So if you don't count Animal Kingdom Lodge, I worked at 8 different resorts, and obviously if you count it, that's 9. So I worked at technically 9 different resorts, and then I worked at Magic Kingdom twice, so that's really exciting. So if you're interested in how I was able to work at Magic Kingdom when being a front desk cast member, make sure you stay tuned to the end because that's where I'm going to talk about that. I would pick up somewhere like once a week for like 2 months. I was really into it. I'm going to tell you guys how you can do that and just everywhere I worked. So before we get started, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and let's just get started. Alright, so as a front desk cast member, you have the ability to work at any of the resorts that you would like to, except for Grand Floridian. I don't think CPs are allowed to work there just because you need specialty training. I don't even know if anyone's like fully allowed to pick up there just because you have to get specially trained to work at the Grand Floridian, which kind of understandable. But on the front desk Facebook page, there's like one large Facebook page for all front desk concierge cast members, and you can trade, give away, all that fun stuff right on there. There's also individual Facebook pages then for each location. So I was a part of the Animal Kingdom Lodge one as well as the large front desk Facebook page. So if you want to like really pick up at a specific location, you could definitely join that individual Facebook page and just be like, hey, looking for shifts. Now just remember, if you are a CP, you can't give away your shifts by yourself. You need a leader approval. So, but if you want to accept a giveaway, if it's not OT approved, you can't. But if it is OT approved, you can, if that makes any sense. The first tip on picking up shifts somewhere is to make sure you ask where costuming is for whoever you're taking that shift from, because you literally can get lost. Sometimes costuming buildings are right inside of the location, like right near the front desk, inside the hotel somewhere. But sometimes they're literally like a drive away, so make sure you always ask where costuming is. That is the #1 tip I could give when doing that. But the first resort that I picked up at was Caribbean Beach. I loved it. It was so fun. It was the last day of the old like front desk check-in area. So if you know, Caribbean Beach just did a huge like reconstruction, and their front desk was in a separate little building like right at the entrance. I was there the last day, the day after I worked. It literally got torn down. So it was really cool being there the last day, kind of sentimental because I stayed there a lot growing up. So it's like weird, like I got to work here on the last day and like it's literally going to be gone tomorrow. But I did like it a lot. That was the first time. I have my notes on my phone, so let me looking here. Okay, so at Caribbean Beach was the first time I was exposed to iPads in the lobby. So if you're familiar with Disney resorts at all, some resorts have pods. So what that means is you have your station, you're logged into your computer, but there's an easy access to wrap around and just go into the lobby and greet the guests, be with the guests. It's more of a one-on-one experience than like, come to me, I'm standing behind this desk. Caribbean Beach had these pods, and at Animal Kingdom Lodge, we don't have pods, so this is a whole different experience for me. I was familiar with checking people in on an iPad. I was able to do it, just always having one and having to go out to the lobby all the time was something I definitely wasn't used to. But that exposed me to that for the first time, and luckily it did because like I had to do that a lot for different pickup shifts. I'll get into that later. But also, oh, I forgot the best part. So the people at Caribbean Beach were sick. Like they didn't really talk to me much, like they didn't really care who I was, which is fine, but they had their whole new quick service location opening as well, and the cast members that are normally there had these little coupons, and they had, I think, a half hour, 45 minutes. They were able to go during their shift on the clock to go try out all the new foods. I was like, I want to go too. So I like went up to the FSA, which is like our version of supervisor, and I was like, hi, can I go get food? And he's like, let me see what I can do. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So he literally gave me a coupon. I went by myself. I didn't really know anyone, obviously. I literally went to Caribbean Beach quick service location, ate their food for free on the clock. It was so good. Like that was so nice of them to do. Wonderful time. Oh, there's also a ton of other deployed people there. So I was talking to obviously the other cast members around me. I was there for 8 hours, and a lot of them were deployed. So like there was someone from the Grand Floridian, there was someone from Coronado Springs, I believe. Like people from different locations were all kind of sent there. Not really sure why, but like, it made me feel more comfortable knowing like I wasn't the only like newbie of the group. This was also the first time I was introduced to Service Your Way. I'm gonna give this spiel because I literally give this spiel to all of the guests. This is literally what I said. What Service Your Way is that you can be offered a $10 gift card for every night that you decide to opt out of housekeeping, excluding your night of checkout because it has to be full serviced. And so let's say you're saying for 6 nights you'd be getting $50 and it'd be an automatic gift card sent to your email. And I had to explain that to guests, and I was never aware of that before because I worked at a deluxe, and Service Your Way only happens at value and moderate resorts, so that exposed me to that as well, which is something if I never picked up I literally would not have known. So Service Your Way was a cool thing. I learned that at Caribbean Beach as well. It was cool. Caribbean Beach was great. I wanted to pick up more again, but then they turned like super iPad-y, and I'm like, I like my desk. The next resort I picked up at was Port Orleans Riverside, and that was my second time I picked up somewhere. It was chill, but the only thing is there was a ton of call outs, so I literally was the only one at the desk for I think like 3 hours at one point. It was scary. I didn't like that, but that was like the only negative thing to it. Besides that, it was really beautiful. I loved the resort. We had our staycation there when I stayed there with my friends that same week, so I was like pretty familiar like about the resort, which was cool. The cutest costume ever, let me tell you. I have a picture of that one. I don't have a picture of many of them because half of them were ugly. I was like, I don't want a picture in this. This is the cutest costume ever. If you get put there or want to pick up there, please do, because it's beautiful. Like, you just spin around and twirl. I love that costume. Also, oh, this is when I had I just had a really nice moment there that I wanted to share. The lobby itself is attached to like a main hallway that leads to the entrance of the resort, and on the other side is like the restaurants, the quick service, but there's a piano man that plays inside of the restaurant, and it was super late at night and he was still playing, and it was just me in the lobby with my iPad out there, literally not a soul in sight, no other cast members, no guests. I was just like standing there listening to this piano. I'm like, dang, this is nice. Like, I felt so grateful for being there right at that exact moment that I'm able to pick up at cool locations and just be working in Disney World. That was a very nice moment that I was like, It's those little moments like that that are unexpected, out of the blue, you don't see them coming, and they're just like, wow, God's really cool. I am so grateful that I am here. So always look for those little moments on your CP. Don't forget that. Disney Point. I also picked up at French Quarter, so that's like literally the same exact thing as Riverside, but over at French Quarter. It's a large lobby, and there was a lot of cast members on the clock, but barely any guests. So that was honestly one of my slowest shifts ever. It's the same costume as Riverside, so that's cute. Plus, oh, also they allowed doggies, so I got to see 2 dogs, and one of them was a pug, and I have a puggle, and I was so excited to see a pug. You guys, you have no idea. I was so excited to see a pug. Yes, they had doggies there, so we loved that. Yeah, I don't really have much about that because it's literally the same thing as Riverside, just it's like sister property. So I also picked up there. Next is one of my favorites that I picked up at. I have to say maybe it was my favorite. It was Art of Animation. People always say avoid Valley Resorts. They're crazy. Like, I liked my Valley Resort. I loved working at Art. It was so much fun. Just a great atmosphere. Most of the guests were first-time visitors. They were all celebrating stuff, so this sounds kind of, I don't know how to put this in a nice way, but they really didn't have any expectations because they were all first-time visitors. They're like, hey, we're in Disney World. I'm so excited to be here. Let's go. Like, none of them really had expectations, and I was constantly busy. Like, I don't think there was a moment I had off. Like, it was packed. Also, at Art of Animation, there was 2 30-minute breaks instead of an hour. So most front desk shifts are all 8.5 hours, no matter what the location is. That's your normal shift. Especially at DACL, like, I always had an hour break. And at Art, they gave me 2 half hours, which is interesting. I don't know how I liked that. I would have to do it more to get an opinion on that, but that was interesting. So Art of Animation, if you have an option to pick up there, definitely do. But the next one is probably my least favorite, which I did not expect to be my least favorite, but that was the Contemporary. I worked a morning shift there, and it was like, I think 9 to 5:30, I believe. Didn't want to do that one again. There was a couple pros to working there, don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't fully hate it, but their costuming location was actually right inside the front desk. Like, literally the front desk was here, costuming was across the hall. Like, you literally walked across the lobby and there was costuming, so that was really convenient. I didn't have to get there extra early or anything, so that was nice. Also, right when I got there, this was the only resort that did that. They gave me a full-on tour of the resort. Like, I had a half-hour walking tour of the Contemporary, which I didn't expect. I forgot that anywhere else. Most locations just like sit you down, talk to you about it. This is where the rooms are, this is the room number, the floor, how to get to places. But Contemporary, thank you, I appreciate that. That was very helpful. But what made the shift not so fun was I was checking in a whole entire conference all day of just business people. So it was like no fun families or were excited. It was like some of these guys in this conference didn't even want to wear their magic band. They're like, I don't want to wear this. I need something else to get into the room. And I'm like, okay, thanks. So that wasn't the most fun thing. A lot of the rooms weren't already on time. They were all very picky about where they wanted, what they wanted. It was okay though. I mean, a lot of worse things have happened than not having rooms ready, so there's not much to complain about, but it just wasn't like the most fun shift in the world. The best thing though, like this was probably the best 1 hour break I've ever had, because I got to go right where the monorail was and outside and look at the castle all during my break. I had to change of clothes, so what I did is just changed really quick. It took 5 minutes. Joffrey's is also right inside the lobby, so I went to Joffrey's, got myself a coffee and a sandwich, and I literally watched the monorail go by. I sat outside looking at Magic Kingdom for 45 minutes, and let me tell you, there is no other break location that you will ever get that. That was wonderful. I loved that so much. So that was another just wonderful moment that I will never forget, like literally on break watching monorail and Magic Kingdom. I loved that. It was so nice. The next location that I worked at purely because the costume was Fort Wilderness. Let me tell you, that costume was hands down the most yeehawest, cutest costume ever. Like, you got to wear a cowboy hat and boots. Like, I literally got to wear boots to work instead of like black flats. Bless up. So comfortable. Pants, like a short sleeve shirt. It was so cool. I loved it, but I did not like working there. Oops. I didn't hate it, but it was very different. There was so much to learn, like the types of gravel that the RVs could fit on, and the types of like lots there are, and where to park your RV, and the bus system, because there was an internal bus system to take you around everywhere. Loved the resort. Loved the resort. We had a staycation there. Had the best time ever, but working with there was very confusing. Also, for part of their check-in, it was like a drive-through, so you don't have to go to the front desk, which made it extremely slow. But it's like a drive-through. Like, you drive up to someone who's in a kiosk and then they check you in. I obviously didn't know enough to go do that, but that took most guests over there. They would file them through, send them to where they're going. They didn't have to come to the front desk. So it was very slow there, but it is what it is. I also had to do a security shift a little there, so what Disney was doing for 3 weeks throughout my program is having front desk cast members go to do security checks. And what that is you stand with a security member who's at the front with the gate letting the vehicles in, and you literally stand there and check off if someone's checking in. That's all you would do. It was pretty boring, but it like made time go by kind of quick. It wasn't terrible. Like, I didn't mind it. I had to do it twice throughout my shift. It was fine. It made time go by quicker, but that's just something that I was thrown into, which I wasn't thrown into anywhere else. I did it at Dackle eventually, but at somewhere I picked up, they're like, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I'm down for anything new. So it was cool doing that, but the costume, let me tell you, that was great. Yeehaw, yeehaw. We have 2 more resorts that I worked at, and the next one is the Yacht Club. It was very preppy and uppity and something I was not used to, but I didn't mind it. It was pretty cool. The lobby is absolutely beautiful. The only thing with the check-in area was super small. There was only like 4 computers, I think, so that was interesting. Usually, like at Dackle, we have like a whole line of computers. There's only 4, I think, 4 or 5. The 5th was probably the FSA's computer. So it was a very small check-in area, so you pretty much had to take every single guest yourself. One girl left at 7, and it was just me from 7 to 11:30. And a concierge, which was fine. Like, it wasn't super busy at all, but it was just interesting. Like, there wasn't desks really at all. But that was cool. The guests, yeah, it was definitely a atmosphere that I wasn't used to. Everyone was in suit coats and fancy dresses, and different. It was definitely different, and I'm happy I got to experience working there, just to experience a new atmosphere. What else do I have written down? Intimidating. I literally wrote down that it was an intimidating atmosphere. The FSAs and leaders were kind of stuck up. I just think that's Not saying everyone at the Yacht Club is stuck up. That's not what I'm saying at all. It was just like my first impression. That's what I got. But I liked working there a lot. There was a lot of very, very nice guests. Like, I had a lot of great experience with the guests that were there. I was able to make magic there. They totally allowed me to like do whatever I wanted to make magic, which was really nice of them. I enjoyed that part of it a lot. It was just, you know, I think the beach club would probably be the same, but they said the beach club was a lot more families than business people. I probably should have picked up at the beach club instead, but I didn't know that. But Yacht Club was still cool. The last resort that I picked up at, which I absolutely loved, was Old Key West. Old Key West was so much fun. The leaders were amazing. The FSAs were so sweet. The other cast members were so sweet. But one thing that the leader did, we had a guest from, I think he was an Afghanistan veteran. And the leader brought out this huge sign poster from all the characters, and it had Mickey on it in a like soldier outfit, and he made a whole announcement. He's like, everyone, I want to make this announcement and thank not just the guests but their family for everything they've done for our country and all the sacrifices that they made, and this is us just wanting to give back to you and thank you for everything that you've done for our country. I'm crying. The other guests are crying. People are crying all over. I've never experienced anything like that. It was so beautiful. Like, I loved every second of that. But everyone was so nice. They let me wear a Christmas outfit. They had like these ears I got to put on and a necklace, and they're like, yeah, celebrate for Christmas. I'm like, yes, I want to do that. I want to celebrate for Christmas. So much fun. Yeah, the atmosphere is just super chill because check-in has its own building that is connected to everything else, so you can see the people walking around, but not many people stop by on in. They can just walk by and you say, hi, how are you? So it was just a chill atmosphere. It's very a home away from home atmosphere. Every single person that I checked in has stayed there before. That is their DVC home because it was the first DVC resort. So it was pretty much welcoming people home. Everyone knew all about the resort. It was really nice. I loved working at Old Key West. So the next two shifts that I picked up were the ones at Magic Kingdom. So for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, anyone is allowed to pick up shifts there, and that's not what people know. Like, when they first come into the like DCP, they might not know that, but that is what you can do. So I was able to pick up 2 party shifts. It cannot be a trained position. It has to be like an open position. So what those are usually treat shifts, and that is only for Halloween. You cannot do a treat shift if you're not quick service trained at the Christmas party, but you can do a pack shift and then a wristband shift. So pack is just kind of like people movement during parades, fireworks, telling people to go different places. Wristband is handing out wristbands to the party guests, and then treats is handing out the treats. So I did a wristband shift and a treat shift, and I got to wear the fun costume with the bat ears. Loved it. So the wristband shift is what I did first. It was a 3:30 or 3 to 8:30 shift. I loved it. It was so much fun. The atmosphere with the Halloween stuff, the spooky things. Spooky season, ladies. But we got to see all the people walking in with their costumes. They were so excited to be there. It was so much guest interaction, like complimenting everyone on their costumes. The only thing is I wish I could have gone inside the party. Like, we were outside Main Street, outside the entrance. I wish we could have gone inside the party. Of course I did, but it was still super fun hearing the music, and you got to hear the castle show, the parade. It was really cool. Yeah, that's really all I had written for that one. Just hectic, like from 3 to 6, 3 to 7, non-stop putting wristbands on people's wrists. So prepare for being hectic, and the costume is very heavy, and it is still hot out. I did it in September and it was still very hot out, so I was sweating bullets, but it was still fun. My favorite shift ever was my treat shift. Hands down the best thing I've ever done in my whole entire life, let me tell you. Okay, so my treat shift was supposed to be Adventureland treats. So I got there. I had no idea where I was going. I literally had to ask everyone else with bad ears. I'm like, hi, can you show me where Adventureland is? Because I had no idea. But in Adventureland, they're like, hey, we are actually going to take you to Columbia Harbor House and you're going to do treats there. I was like, okay, like, I got no complaints. Got to look at the Haunted Mansion being spooky all night. Number one, that was the coolest thing. I was also exposed to rotations for the first time. I've never done anything with rotation. Like, for front desk, you go to your desk, do your check-ins, go on break, go back to the same location your whole entire shift. Now for this, you would rotate like every 45 minutes. So you'd be like a greeter, treat 1, 2, 3, 4, an exit greeter, like a people mover, like a crowd mover person. I don't know what these terms are called. I've never had to do it before. But that was really cool. It kept time going by really quick. And then also a break was included in there. But let me tell you, you got a lot of free candy doing that. Like, I was taking candy the whole night, eating it, so much chocolate, we love that. But the best part, maybe my best part of the whole entire program, all of the other cast members knew I never worked at Magic Kingdom before, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have you really have a great experience. I'm like, okay, what we're gonna do. So what they did is they sent me on my 30-minute break right as the parade hit Columbia Harbor House. So I stood at like where the entrance to Hall of Presidents was, and I literally watched the whole entire parade on my break and ate food, and I was like, wow. It was phenomenal. Everyone loves Booty U. Like, Booty U is amazing. So I got to watch it on my break. It was so sweet of them to do for me. Just being able to dance and sing, and the second parade came along when we were really dead. So we were just like dancing. It was so much fun. I loved it. I'm so grateful for that experience. But that is all the places that I picked up. I have talked a lot in this video. Thank you so much if you're still watching. I appreciate it so much. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions with how to pick up, what to do, anything like that, comment down below and I'll be happy to answer the questions for you. But if you liked it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!